1.9 is a a legal identity for all, and that is the digital ID that we're fighting against. Shortly after...
Pleasure to meet you, man.
What's your name?
Robert.
Nice to meet you, Robert.
Doing YouTube as well, like.
Ah, yeah. How are you getting on?
Not too bad. Like,
Good stuff, good stuff. Where are you from round here?
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
So, travel 5 hours.
To get here?
Yeah,
It's a bit of a hike, Aberdeen, isn't it?
yeah.
Yes, Kev, get your arse here. Kev! Stop staring that way and pointing that way, come here. Come here. Right. So I do another song then until somebody's ready to get a protest.
Protest.
Okay.
Oh, you're correct. Text my stuff in the window.
Is that like a bit of reggae since we're all standing up against Babylon and shit? I can find that. All my videos and my history is filled with hashtag stuff and all that. Dude. Oh, I'm on a permanent holiday, going outside to play. I ain't gonna sleep away. Not for no couple Babylon. Never gonna be a part of them manipulation games. I'm taking the race, breaking the chains. Never gonna be alone. My puppet is no picture of as a victory. I understand. I think it used to be sentence. Then as a travel up. Alright. Apologies. I was trying to get us to go louder because the music was drowning me out. 10,000 years of captivity, we must eventually open up our eyes and see. We manipulate to leave so much uncertainty, so many mysteries. Why are so few questioning the unnatural state of things? A nightmare, living in a nightmare. Everyone's living so scared, they're virtually unaware. Feel the ruins their lives, occupies, consumes their minds. But we were bankruptcy, financial impotency. It's Monday, 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 Monday. It's all this digital currency. Ooh, yeah. It's all this Monday, Monday. To keep the Sunday but being free. Ooh, yeah. So it seems we'll be in this prison for life. Say we keep buying, they'll keep selling the lie. Did you just say I can't even save myself? Oh, right, I pushed see that. I was never offended though.
On my the singing and it's song is lead to that now.
I need mind and I will make love. I can't man will I me I be the mind and I see relation, make life situation. I be change, seeking man, that's what me. I use be present, I make own decision. I won't be manipulated. My controlling on the I seek revelation, and I like the celebration. I'm gonna be the change I'm seeking. Not the best the words I'm speaking. I refuse to be confused. I will make my own decision. I won't be manipulated by controlling and the daily life will seek a revelation. Make my life celebration. Gonna be the change I'm seeking. Manifest the words I'm speaking. I refuse to be imprisoned. I will make my own decisions. Permanent holiday, going outside the bed. I ain't gonna stay away. Up on no couple Babylon, never gonna be apart. Their manipulation gets, I'm taking the breath, breaking the chains, never gonna live life. My purpose doesn't set no preacher or perfectly. I stay, never know, taking to highway. I'll never go astray. Na 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 na. I'm leaving the past, fast forward and fast, cause freedom to stay.
Maybe they're the judges.
We're going to take my vocals on so I can do the high notes. Hang on. You got to take back the knowledge. We got to take back the power. We got to take back the knowledge. We got to take back the power. We got to take back the knowledge, to take back the power. Take back what they have stolen from our hearts. We got to take back the esoteric knowledge. Not too long they've been keeping us apart. We got to take back the knowledge, take back the power. Humanity, don't let it be a final hour. We got to take back the knowledge, to take back the power. Humanity, don't let it be a final hour. Got to take back the knowledge, back the power. Humanity, don't let it be a final hour. We got to take back the knowledge, take back the power. Humanity, don't let it be a final hour. We got to take back the knowledge, take back the power. Humanity, don't let there be a final hour. Take back the knowledge, take back the power. Humanity, don't let there be a final hour. Take back the knowledge, take back the power. Humanity, don't let there be a final hour. Got to take back the knowledge, take back the power. Humanity, don't let there be a final hour. Together, take back the knowledge, take back the power. All right, is somebody ready for a speech? Somebody ready for a speech? Go. That one for the speech.
How you doing, guys? It's good to see a big crowd again in Glasgow. It's been a while. Feels like 2021 again. Well done to everybody that came here today. I know there's a lot well travelled. Some as far as London, some from Aberdeen. Well done to you all. And I'm looking forward to a good chat to you afterwards. In the pub we'll get a wee sit down, talk about what we do next. Well done to all the campaigners. All the campaigners are basically, we've won round one, but it's not over. If we keep doing these protests and we work closer and closer with the campaigners, that's when we start to get real results. It's happening lovely so far. Long may it continue.
Yes.
So I'd like to tell you all about the Belmont Accord. There's many political parties here today for a change. I don't think we've seen many since back in 2021, 2020, when it was all Freedom Alliance. Freedom Alliance are still here. ADF are here. And there was some other parties here earlier on as well that have left early. If we continue to work with these, not just the protesters, and continue that, look at how the momentum the English had. Where the way they started. They're doing a protest more or less nearly every week. So if we continue this pressure with the campaigners, look like Debbie Carmichael, like the good work Maisie's doing, like all these people, and think about the effects of the campaigns while we're organising these protests, we'll start to get the best results possible, and we'll win round 2, round 3 and round 4. So, on that note, I'd like to introduce the next speaker. This is one of the leading figures in the Belmont Accord, which is a collection of 6 awake parties who were the first. They were the first parties to come out with a statement against digital ID, I think 24 hours later. If you'd like to give a warm welcome to Mr. Ian Gibson.
Hi everyone, thanks very much for the invite to come and speak today. I think we all know why we're here today for digital ID. I'm Ian Gibson, I'm the Deputy Leader of the Scottish ADF Party, and like Ryan was saying, we're big into the Belmont Accord. It's about getting people together. We need to come together. We know what the government are trying to do. They're trying to take away all our options. We've seen it with the ULEZ in Glasgow, we've seen it with the digital ID. Now they're saying they're U-turning. We all know what a government U-turn is. We've not actually won anything yet. They're still slipping into driving licences, they're still trying to slip it into your doctors. They're trying to do everything you can to take our freedoms away. We do need to come together. We need to stand together. We need to fight the digital ID. We need to fight the cashless society. We need to fight the ULEZ, the 15-minute cities. Yes. We know what the SNP are doing. We know what Labour are doing. They want everybody to be miserable. They want everybody to be poor. They want you all separated and divided, so you're fighting amongst yourselves. We really, really need to come together. We need to keep this energy, because the turnout today is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be in a cold Glasgow day. We really are at a turning point. It is good to see the government U-turn, but I don't feel like it's actually achieved anything yet. I feel like it's very much we're just going to get soft digital ID slipped in under the table without us knowing. But we do need to come together. We need to support smaller political parties. We need to support the awake political parties. I don't really want to make this a political speech, because that's not what today's about. But if you're not making the menu, you're on the menu. So as far as I'm concerned right now, we've got 2 options. We either come together, we unite, and we try and do something to fix the country, or we fall apart and it leads to civil war. So I feel that now is the time. We need to do it. We need to stand together. The next speaker that's coming up is going to be Ken. He's the leader of our party. I'm not promoting my party specifically. Have a look at the Belmont Accord. Have a look at the smaller parties. Sorry, I've just been told it's David Scott after myself, not Ken. Ken will be up after that. But thanks very much for coming out, everybody, and we really, really do. We need to fight. Now's the time to fight for our country. Now's the time to fight for Scotland. Now's the time to fight for Britain, and we need to keep our freedoms. Free speech is the most important thing that we've got. And in our arsenal, we need to speak freely. We need to stop the government from stopping our words and from stopping us from speaking. So if you don't start now and you don't resist what's happening, then we're all going to be in a bad state of affairs. So thanks very much for having me up here. We'll get the next speaker, who's hopefully a lot more confident than myself. It's not sure, but we do need to resist. We need to stop at every single point. So when they ask you to sign up for the government new driving licence, say no. Just say no. When they ask you to pay for everything by direct debit, say no. Pay cash for everything. That's the only way we're going to win. That's the only way we're going to survive. And I'll pass you on to the next speaker. So thanks very much for having me. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming out today.
Hello everyone. I'm delighted to be here, and I want to start off by quoting Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington used to say to his audiences, "We want to remind you, the band and I want to remind you that you are very beautiful and we love you madly." I start there because you are very beautiful, because you're human beings. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You are not numbers. You are complex, you are difficult, you are amazing, you are unique. What we're dealing with here in Digital ID is step one of a much larger program. The much larger program is called Digital Public Infrastructure, and it covers everything. It covers not only your ID, it will cover payments, it will cover benefit payments, it will then cover health records, it will cover your behaviour, it will cover everything, and it will capture that information, and it will store that information. And this government says, but don't worry, it will be with your consent. It will be transparent. The government's saying this, right? The government is saying it's going to be transparent. And the government's talking about consent. They shouldn't use big words they don't understand. We saw what consent meant during COVID. COVID was, well, you don't have to be vaccinated, right? You still have the ability to consent. It's just if you're not going to be able to work or leave your home or go out to the shops, right? But apart from that, you're free, so you've got consent. They don't mean it. When everything is in one place, when your benefit system, your payment system, your salary, your ability to get a driver's license, your ability to travel, your ability to get a loan, your ability to engage in commerce, to buy and sell, is in one place. And they say, well, do you want to consent? What choice will you have? Your choice will have been removed. Now, during COVID's a good example of how this goes. During COVID, we were always told that you are literally killing people unless you comply with every rule. You've got to be 6 feet apart. There was little pictures on the pavement as to which direction you could walk in and how close you could queue to the person in front, and you had to have a mask on, and 2 masks or no mask, and it was madness. And it was we were told by the system, by the single source of truth, that this was all necessary. This was following the science. This was perfect, right? You were an idiot. You were a muppet if you actually had a different view. You were a mad conspiracy theorist who should be shunned by all of society. I've got a quote here from just a couple of days ago. Robert Redfield, the former director of the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control in America, he finished his stint just as the vaccine was coming out. He says, 1, the vaccine should never have been mandated. 2, it didn't prevent transmission. 3, it was a misnomer to even call it a vaccine. 4, it didn't stop infection. And 5, children should never have been vaccinated. If he'd said that 3 years ago in this country, he would have been arrested. So, consent is not the solution. Freedom is the solution. We need many voices, and those voices need somewhere to stand to speak. They have to have ownership of the ground on which they stand. If everything is digital, the ownership will have gone. They will have no ability to speak because they'll have nowhere to speak. I've got a couple of... when I spoke in November at your event in Edinburgh, the conclusion I reached there is, this is just the start, it's digital public infrastructure is the bigger picture. And I described it as, what we see here is the beast, the total integration of all private commerce, all government action in one system. Your eligibility for loans will be assessed on your behaviour. Your data will be commercialised and shared. Tax, income, medical, educational and behavioural records will be combined. Nothing will be hidden. It's a digital panopticon. Just to build on that, a few little examples that I got from the web this morning. We've got the new digital public infrastructure programme from the World Bank. Right? They say the most significant finding is that the world is moving past foundational projects in identity and digital payments to embrace digital public infrastructure at large. So they are seeing, the World Bank is seeing progress. Right? So if we can resist here on digital ID, we stop them. And they're talking about, so the World Bank's new programme reflects growing recognition that digital identification, payments and data sharing and trust systems, that means can the state and the banks trust you? That's what they mean by trust systems. Are essential building blocks for transactions across sectors. Sectors, what does sectors mean? Sectors means everything, including and particularly the health sector. So we've got the Global Digital Health Certification Network. That's been run by the World Health Organization. And we know what a bunch of bandits they are. Right? So that's for verifying your health information worldwide across borders. Right? We've got the Global Initiative on Digital Health. Right? This gets really quite Orwellian or Brave New World. The Global Initiative on Digital Health is a network of networks managed by the World Health Organization. I don't know about you, that doesn't give me a warm feeling. A network of networks watching you. And then we get to a wonderful organisation called Nesta. Now, Nesta was founded by lottery funding. Remember all that? It's just a bit of fun. It's for good causes. This founded Nesta, which became a government department, which became a charity. They say our strategy up to 2030, so it's Project 2030, focuses on 3 missions: breaking the link between family background and life chances. Right? The Communist Manifesto, item 4, destroy the family. Right? Having obesity. Now, to be fair to them, communism was quite good at reducing obesity, but we'll leave that one out. And cutting household carbon emissions. Household carbon emissions means heat. They say many around the world have looked to Europe to provide an alternative vision to these top-down approaches. So when you hear Starmer talking about bottom-up, and it's all very well and we're listening, this is what he means. And the rather deductive Beijing versus Silicon Valley binary that increasingly drives it. The EU wants to shape a real alternative to change this approach. Right? So what they're saying is, you've got something over here which they're calling Silicon Valley. That's capitalism. Right? We don't want that. And you've got something over here which we're calling Beijing, and that's communism. We don't want that. We want a third way. Does any of this sound familiar? Right? And the third way has always been fascism. And what fascism is nominal private ownership and state regulation and control so that the state dictates everything that happens. And via digital ID and the digital public infrastructure, they will get everything unless we do something about it. Right? Now they talk about consent and they talk about, don't worry because there'll be consent, but we know they don't mean that, and we know they don't believe in consent. I want to finish with one more little observation. Emmanuel Macron, right, a globalist to the core, he was raising the alarm about digital public infrastructure. He said that for the whole of the EU, right, so we're talking about a massive bureaucratic organisation, right, governing hundreds of millions of people, right, unless they had sovereign control over their information, that the EU EU would end up being a vassal state of whoever held that information. Andy said there's no such thing as a happy vassal. Now, if the EU is going to be a vassal, how much more are you or I going to be vassals under this system? Ladies and gentlemen, we want freedom. We want to have life, we want to have it more abundantly. We don't want to be controlled, we don't want to be cogs in the machine. We're complicated, we're difficult, we make mistakes. Right? People can be transformed, they can fall down one day and get up the next. Right? If that's all recorded on your digital timeline, then a fall one day will blight your life for years or decades to come. That is not what it is to be human. We want to be human, we want to have a world where love and change and transformation are possible, and digital ID does not give it to us. It's the first step down a very dangerous road. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, David. David Scott, again, round of applause. Thank you so much. The next speaker is, there's many words that one could say, but as far as freedom in the UK and around the world, there's one woman for a long time now that has been standing strong and created with passion some of the greatest, biggest protests in the UK, covering all the subjects. But all the subjects are the same subject, as we know. They're all part of the same thing. But I would like to introduce, she's come up to Glasgow, Fiona Rose Diamond.
Oh no, you're ruining my outfit. I was going to say, I dressed for the occasion. I very much dressed for the occasion, so I just want to say, long live the revolution! I do have some notes, but I didn't want to read from a script, but I think there's a lot to say, because I listened to a lot of speeches since the alleged U-turn by Keir Starmer. So the first thing I want to say is, does anybody here actually trust Keir Starmer? So do you actually trust him when he says this is not going to be mandatory? So do you believe there has been a U-turn at all? No. And that's why I'm so happy to be here in Glasgow. And I've been saying to people all day, these numbers are amazing, guys. And the fact that you're still out after that alleged U-turn speaks volumes. This is mass non-compliance in action. And this is what we need more of. And it's our job to spread that message. So I want to do a bit of a boring bit first with regards to this U-turn. Everybody knows that in, I think, 26th of September, Keir Starmer announced that everybody will need a mandatory digital ID for the right to work and the right to rent. Now, I actually read the Brick Card proposal, and that came out in June of 2025. The Brick Card proposal was from the Labour Together think tank, you know, the steering committee that stress tests these ideas, and it was never even official. Brick Card was never the official name. Now, they announced this mandatory right to work and right to rent. And I think we always knew they were playing games, because that announcement from Keir Starmer 2 days before the Labour conference was very, very brazen. I didn't trust it for a second, and because I'd already announced a rally, I was like, mate, the PM just gave me free promotion. Everyone's going to come out. And then I was invited on Sky News, and I just didn't trust it at all. So I don't know why people now are trusting Keir Starmer when he says that, don't worry, we're not going to make it mandatory. So the first thing is, Brick Card was just a symbolic token that they have now set aside that was never official. It was a distraction, a red herring to get people focusing on this one digital credential. The UK Gov wallet was going to house the Brick Card. It was going to be a token on the UK Gov wallet. The UK Gov wallet has been rolled out already, is being trialled with the Veterans Card and the Digital Driver's Licence, which, by the way, are 2 tokens. And the Brick Card, right to work and right to rent, was going to be one more token, one digital credential on that wallet. That wallet is still being built. They've spent 340 million and set aside 1.8 billion to spend over the next 5 years. Do we really think there's going to be a U-turn? No. When we know where this is coming from, and that's the most important thing. And the way that the UK Gov Wallet works, and I'm sure you've all heard of One Login. Now, One Login is the de facto digital ID. That is the infrastructure that they are using to sign people up. You need a One Login account to download the Gov UK wallet. The Gov UK wallet is the digital ID that we are resisting. And that wallet will house your health tokens, your banking, your carbon credit score, everything that you can possibly think of. Your personhood will be tokenized, and there will soon be central bank digital currency that will be programmable, blockchain, so everything will be tracked. We need to know that we are resisting the UK Gov Wallet. Now, the right to work and right to rent credential that they have decided won't be mandatory. It's a complete lie. You still have to verify yourself by 2029 via One Login with your biometrics, your face, your fingerprint, and your iris. The same plan is being rolled out. It's full steam ahead. The U-turn means nothing. They've just abandoned an idea that was just a red herring stress test in the first place. So the fight is still full on. But the reason that they've announced this U-turn is because the resistance has worked. They saw 3 million people sign a petition. They saw hundreds of thousands of people across the UK out protesting in a very short space of time. And if anyone read the brick card proposal, I announced mass non-compliance in August, and no one was really interested until Keir Starmer came out and basically gave me some free promotion. And then everyone started having the conversation, and they have made this announcement to stop the education, to stop the conversation, and to stop the resistance. They're trying to placate you because they are scared of you. They fear the people, but they fear us most when we stand together. And I saw the biggest display of unity I've seen since 2020, I think, and since the COVID jabs. I've seen the biggest display of unity against digital ID because this is bipartisan. This is not political. It doesn't matter who you pray to. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It's coming for everybody. Digital ID does not care who you vote for. And any party in that building that you pay for, by the way, those polyester suit wearing seat fillers, they are performers, they are puppets. And one of the other most important things we need to know is where this has come from. This is globalist diktat. This isn't a national policy to deal with mass illegal migration. You know, that 1.46% problem, the alleged 1.8 million undocumented individuals apparently across the UK. You think they're going to go and sign up for a digital ID? You think that rogue landlords are going to start going, oh shit, I better do things legally now? Seriously? So you think they're going to go and sign up? They want to surveil 100% of the country to deal with a 1.46% problem, but they're using that mass illegal migration issue, which, by the way, they created because they needed to bring about the chaos and a problem to solve it. David Icke says problem, reaction, solution. It's entirely engineered. And I think everyone's listening to David Icke now. It's only been 35 years. But this has come from, I think a lot of you probably know this, but it's worth saying for the people that are passing by, so I hope they actually hear. In 2015, 193 member states of the United Nations signed us up to a plan called the Sustainable Development Goals, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Agenda 2030 is not a conspiracy. It's literally written down at the General Assembly in 2015. It's on the UN website. 17 sustainable goals and 169 targets were announced. Those unelected and unaccountable diplomats that gather across the world speaking, allegedly representing the peoples of the world, that's literally what they say. Do they represent you? Do you feel represented by anybody at the UN? I only know one good diplomat, and he's with the Workers' Party, Peter Ford. He's a very good man, but most of them are not. I'm not praising any of them. So in 2015, they signed up to this 2030 agenda, and that's goals to achieve by 2030. This was tweaking the Agenda 21, which was the agenda for the 21st century, all about sustainability and equity and all these lovely flowery things that sound oh so humanitarian. And target, Goal 16, target number 9, so 16.9, is a legal identity for all. And that is the digital ID that we're fighting against. Shortly after 2015, and they agreed this plan, 193 member states of the United Nations, the offshoot group called ID 2020, big tech firms, tech consultants, Accenture, MasterCard, banking, everybody, by the way, also Bill Gates via Gavi is in ID 2020. They're the ones that are building the infrastructure, setting the policy, and saying exactly how this is going to work. Once again, unelected, unaccountable globalists that are dictating our future. In 2016, Tony Blair founded the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. It's all very weird, isn't it? 2015, 2016. Tony Blair is an agenda contributor to the World Economic Forum. He's a front man for the globalists, a warmongering, soulless, evil dictator that wants to control us and has tried for decades to do so, but now he's got the clout behind him from the globalists. So the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, Tony Blair Institute, and ID 2020 is where the education needs to start. This is globalist dictator handed down to governments that every government across the world is enforcing on us, the people, and none of us voted for it. Did you vote for any of this? Did you even vote for Keir Starmer? 9 million people that voted for Keir Starmer, I'm pretty sure, regret it now. That man is a traitor, a criminal, and I want to swear. He's a traitor, a criminal, and a fucking bastard. I have to get it in there. I'm not going to say the C word, eh, John? Listen, you want the C word. Let's wait till the end. Oh, I can't find my page. I just really didn't want to forget to say anything. So that's why I set up massnoncompliance.com. That wasn't just a rally that I was organising. The most important thing is that we know thine enemy and know their plan, and you're not just standing up against the government or Keir Starmer because they're all cheeks of the same arse. It doesn't matter who you vote for. I'm very, very sorry. If the Workers' Party were anywhere near getting in, honestly, I would vote for them. But there's no one at the moment that's offering you any type of freedom. But it's not our freedom that they can give away, and it's not our freedoms to give away for future generations. So we have an obligation for the children, for the children's children, and every generation after that. And that's what this fight has been about since 2020. I don't know if any of you were out in 2020 or whenever you came out you were. So you've been fighting for freedom because you could see this from the very beginning. You probably listened to David Icke and heard of Agenda 21 back then. We know what this is. This is no longer and never has been a conspiracy, and we need to keep fighting for our freedoms, because if we don't, every single child here will have a doomed future living in a digital gulag, and freedom will be a nostalgic word they never know the meaning of. So we're not fighting the government, the puppets, the unelectable globalists are who we're fighting. And that is a big army that we're going to need to take them on, because this isn't just a decades-old plan. This has been 100 years in the making. Every law they have created to control us, to censor our freedom of speech, to stop us protesting, to stop us doing things like this. Every single piece of legislation they have passed, including the Data Use and Access Act that passed in 2025, which takes away all the checks and balances on your freedom. So believe me, they will do it. It will be mandatory, and they will exclude everybody bit by bit and get through this with coercion. They will take our freedoms away bit by bit, make access to life itself almost impossible if you don't have a digital ID. So we really are up against it, and it's now on the back of this U-turn, because you, the people, are so strong and they are so scared of you, that we really need to fight. We need to keep the conversation going, because they will try to shut us down and people will think, I've got a choice. The illusion of choice. There is no choice. We need to fight this, and I don't want to be negative, but it's really important. Pardon? No, exactly. Thank you very much. That's exactly what all of the laws are for. And with the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill that's just been, the under-16s ban that's just been approved by the House of Lords, do you think the House of Lords have got any power to block legislation or policy whatsoever? That power was taken away decades ago. They are not allowed to block any act. They can delay it for 2 terms, but every single act, every bill that passes the House of Commons, the people that are meant to be representing you and I, by the way, if they pass it, it will pass. The King's royal assent to any bill is just ceremonial. It means nothing. And the Commons are led by the executive. So Keir Starmer and 30 odd of his secretaries of state have delegated powers, and they are making the decisions, along with the civil servants who are the permanent government. So they don't care what we want, they don't listen to us, but they fear us when we're out on the streets and standing together. And I used to say that this is the hill to die on, but I don't believe that. This certainly is the hill. But this is the hill that we stand on, this is the hill that we do not surrender, and this is the hill that we win on. Yes. This is the fight of our lives. Yes. Thank you very much. So, I'm sorry I feel like that was a little bit ranty. About the website, massnoncompliance.com, guys, I'm working so hard as well as doing a full-time law degree, and I know it's all bullshit, but the point is, know thine enemy, right? Know how they operate. So I intend to use the skills that I gain to hold some criminals to account for what they've done to us, what they've done to the people that have taken that toxic by design COVID jab. Everything I do is about freedom and justice and education, and that's so important now. So please share massnoncompliance.com with your friends. I've made it mainstream friendly, but everything you need to know about the shadowy elites that are behind this is on there. And before I wrap up, in the words of Emmeline Pankhurst, on the risk of getting myself arrested, I incite this meeting to rebellion. Thank you. And I'm going to stay here a minute. The next person that's speaking is someone that I know personally, and I've not actually seen him in a few years. But I run a campaign called Truth Be Told in 2023. I was actually in Glasgow. I was in Edinburgh, right? So I did 6 locations across the UK, and we did London, and it was epic. And one of the things that I've always been passionate about, because I've said this is not a partisan issue, Digital ID doesn't care who you vote for. It's the same as the jab. We need to be united, and we need to be a credible threat. And the reason I did Truth Be Told campaign was for the vaccinated and the unvaccinated to stand together. And this man is someone that I met whilst doing that, very, very outspoken, likes the C word like me, and punched a full-size cardboard cutout of Matt Hancock on the stage in London, which was an epic moment. But this man has now carried on fighting. He didn't just do what he did for his personal reasons and selfish reasons. This man is now speaking and standing with us. So everyone make some noise for John Watt.
Give Fiona Rose Diamond a round of applause. Glasgow, make the noise, it has to be heard. Oh, I give my microphone back, Fiona. Look, guys, we're all here together, standing as one. We're at the point in 2020, you know, for me, obviously I wasn't awake. I had to become the victim to become awake to this. The biggest threat to the government, the biggest threat to the mainstream media are the people that are standing here. The conspiracy theorists are the ones that are the threat. The reason we're the threat is because we know the plan. We know what their plan is. It's all about connecting the dots. We understand the dots. It's trying to make you all realise the dots, and the whole point and the end goal is that right there. I remember when this happened to me, and Miss Fiona Rose Diamond, she contacted me when I was speaking out regarding the vaccine, and she was telling me that this was a plan. Damon from British Lions for Freedom told me this was a plan. Yes! And so did Joey from British Lions for Freedom. They were all telling me this was a plan. And I was all saying, use it half your head. Because I couldn't join the dots then. But as time and time went on, I started to listen to people.
When it really joined the dots for me was when I was watching what was happening in America, and then I started to see it coming over here. They didn't just ignore the harms of the vaccine in Scotland or England or Ireland or Wales. They've ignored it all around the world. What is digital ID? It is a global issue, just like the vaccine. And then when I started to see them with the children and telling us our children can be whatever the hell they bloody want, I thought to myself, there's no way that Scotland, the Bravehearts, are going to allow this. But unfortunately, we are. We're failing our children, guys. We have to stand and realise that this goal and this confusion, they want to confuse us every week. It is so hard to keep up with the news. It is so hard to keep up with everything because there's a scandal after scandal after scandal. And all that is it's just a tactic. It's just a tactic to make everybody fight amongst each other. Like Fiona said, the immigration is being orchestrated by our government. They are having this plan. It's not a conspiracy theory. It all links to the Agenda 2030 and the digital ID. And the one thing for me that freaks me out is the fact that Glasgow, you have 15, 20-minute cities in your city council and none of you even care about it. As soon as the digital ID is imposed, you will all be restricted and told what to do and when to do it and how to do it. Where are the Bravehearts, Glasgow? Where are the William Wallaces? You all have to come together to realise the end goal. 4 years is away from Agenda 2030. 4 bloody years. You can either listen to your politicians, listen to your BBC, or your Daily Record, or your Sun. They can say what the fuck they want about me. Say what you want. I'm still standing here and I'm bringing the noise. So we all have to realise, in May 2026 this year, what are we going to do? Who are we going to vote for?
Vote for me.
Vote for me? You should go and get the tin flute on and the tie and all that, walk down the street like Hamza Yusuf and make out that I care about my country. They would shite themselves if I'd done that, I tell you right now. Listen, the numbers are good. I'm actually quite proud of the numbers here. I know they're not that good, but I think they'll only get bigger. If we don't, the divide and conquer is working perfectly. I'm getting sick of the people masquerading to make out that they're the real heroes. I don't think they are. I think they're just part of the plan, guys. There's people with bigger influences than me. Fiona Rose Diamond done a protest in London. What was more important, digital ID or the immigration? For me, digital ID is more important now. The COVID-19 vaccine, they've got away with it, they're getting away with it. They don't care. This government don't care. It only stands with you by putting boots on the ground and this whole city being flooded by freedom fighters. Thank you, Glasgow. God bless you all and bring the noise.
Well, please introduce our next speaker, guys. Another one of the leaders of the Belmont Accord in the Scottish ADF party. Round of applause for Ken Thompson.
Pleasure to meet you, man.
What's your name?
Robert.
Nice to meet you, Robert.
Doing YouTube as well, like.
Ah, yeah. How are you getting on?
Not too bad. Like,
Good stuff, good stuff. Where are you from round here?
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
So travel 5 hours.
So you're here?
Yeah,
It's a bit of a hike, Aberdeen, isn't it?
I seen your video in Aberdeen. It was like seen you a bit in aggro with Yorkie and that.
Yeah, it's okay.
He's apologised. So I went up to him and I said, you shouldn't be messing with Billy, you know.
He's full of bland, mate, isn't he?
Aye, but he always is, man.
Of course you can, mate. Yeah, look at
Alpha police stuff in these streets. Can I help so?
Thank you very much. What's your name again? Nice to meet you. Going on a card day.
I'm gonna watch. I do like music and stuff like that. So anything.
Well, keep holding this way, mate. Thank you very much.
And they're all pro-Stephen, standing against digital ID, and they plan to work with other parties that are up and coming. Digital ID obviously is an absolute disgrace and is set to destroy our country and control everybody, every aspect of everything you do, whether it be your banking or your housing or your shopping, everything, and that must be stopped at all costs. And we are standing against that as a group of parties, and we hope that people will join us. Look up the BelmontAccord.org. That is where all the parties congregate, and we're talking to other parties who are not members of that group, but working with them behind the scenes. Some of them don't want to be out front in public with the tie-up, and again, we'd hope that everyone would have a look at that and follow us. And join with us in resisting the tyranny, incoming tyranny, which is part of the digital ID, central bank digital currency, and ultimately social credit score, where we are really under the cosh if we don't stand against it. So we hope they'll all join us in having a look at that. We're standing candidates across Scotland. I think we've got about 20 candidates lined up, and we're talking to. And we'll be standing in the elections, in the Scottish election, and we hope that we'll gain some support for that. And also on the lists, we'll be standing in Glasgow, the south of Scotland and the west of Scotland, and in the Belmont we've got parties standing in the Highlands and Islands, Central, and also the Northeast. So yeah, help us along, look us up, see if you can stand with us, and thanks very much for coming along today, guys. It's been a brilliant turnout. Thank you.
I think there's one more person, somebody called James, that's meant to come up. Yep.
Hi everyone, it's good to see some new faces here. So it was a minor victory in that they said, who was that guy again, the worst Prime Minister in history? Comrade Starmfront, yeah, that's the one. He was the head of the CPS and refused to prosecute Jimmy Savile. That Comrade Starmfront, that same one who let grannies freeze to death over winter. You cannot trust this man. He is a spineless tyrant. The only thing he fears is losing his job. I cannot fathom words to express how much I despise that man and the whole of Westminster, every last square inch of it. Many speakers have spoken about things I'm going to talk today, so it's unfortunate I'm going last, but it's true. It is just about compliance and control, but it does sort of matter who you vote for to some extent, because it's going to be used to monitor dissidents. If you disagree with the government, you won't be able to leave your house, just like during lockdowns when they tried to introduce diner papieri, because that's what they're fucking called. No one needs the government's permission to leave their house, go on a train, go to a tennis match, do whatever it is they want. We used to have a thing called freedom, and we used to have a thing called freedom of speech in this country. It's a disgrace what's happening. Over 3,000 people a year arrested in the UK. The UK for speech, not for crimes, not the stuff the digital ID is going to track, because they say they're going to track criminals. They don't know who the criminals are. They don't arrest them. They're going after grannies who post on Facebook. Who cares? Real criminals are not punished at all in this country. Make no mistake, the reason they back down, they're saying they back down, is because they saw the numbers are against them. Keep it up. We've made them take one step back. We need them to take 10,000 steps back. There's an Englishman called AJP Taylor many decades ago. He once said, you could, as an Englishman, a law-abiding Englishman, you can walk around the state and not know the existence of the state except for the bobby on the street and the post office. I want to go back to that. I don't want the government in my life. I don't want it easier to interact with the government. I want the government to leave me alone. They're stealing my money. They're stealing all your money. But don't worry, they're redistributing it to foreign wars to blow up women and children. Because they claim they claim they're afraid of terrorists, and yet they're doing the exact thing that makes the terrorists, funding foreign wars and blowing up women and children with the money they stole from you. But don't worry, they'll clamp down on your free speech, and even the thoughts in your own head, they'll go straight after you if you speak out against them. Stuff like this is extremely important. Get out on the streets, and it is nice to see the numbers here. I wish it was a bit more, but some people may have thought, oh, they say they're going to back down now, we've won. It's like, no, we've won the tiniest battle, but we should still celebrate that victory. We need to push back, absolutely. I will not comply with this. If I have to die penniless on the street, so be it. I don't care. I really don't. I'd rather die free than spend even a single second in chains. I'm an Englishman. These digital IDs are absolutely evil. They will not be used to go after criminals. They will simply be used to go after political dissidents and people who disagree with the government. And it will show who needs to be arrested for wrong think or wrong speech. You know, that they'll be arresting people for silently praying in their own heads if the digital IDs go through. Oh no, that's right. They're already arresting people for literal thought crime. These people in charge they're either stupid or they're evil. Now, they're Eton educated. I don't think they're stupid. They must be evil by definition. All they ever do is, whenever there's a problem, they go, should we have more government, more taxes and less freedom? That's every solution they've done to every issue. Look back over more than 100 years. That's all they ever do. This is the only... Excuse me, I just coughed, so maybe we should lock down the whole world for 4 years or something. It's the only trick they have in their playbook. Tax you to death, restrict your freedoms, and force more government into your life where they don't belong. Do you know you can be arrested for having a conversation at the dinner table in the privacy of your own home? Apparently that's not a defence now, being in your own home. This digital ID is just one more step of them forcing the government into every single step of your life. But it's easy to fight back against. We won a small victory by doing effectively nothing, just by standing up and saying no. Keep doing that more. Practically, support cash-only businesses. Support businesses that prefer cash. As much as possible, spend cash, because you can exchange cash with other people, you can pay for goods or services, you can pay for whatever it's like with cash, you can buy anything you want, or at least you should be able to. Stop supporting businesses that are card-only. It's not excusable. I want to pay cash. I don't want to be tracked. I'm already tracked enough in this country. I don't want any more tracking. I want to be left alone. And I think most people here want to be left alone as well. Is there anyone here that wants the government in their life more? Are you sure? You don't want a digital ID? You must be racist. That's what the fake news will be saying. Make no mistakes about this. This is a small victory. We need to keep on putting the pressure on. Now is the time to fight back and get them to scrap it, because as many of the speakers have said before me, 2029, 2030, all these things are already in the works. The infrastructure's already there, they just haven't put all the pieces together. When these pieces go together though, make no mistake, it will be forced upon everyone. There will be no getting away with it, so we have to win now. There's no second choice. I wish I could say I'm happy that we live in a free country where we have the freedom of speech, but we don't. I wish I could say that, well, at least we can have the freedom of thought, but we don't. At least we have the right to self-defense when a burglar breaks into our house. Oh, no, don't worry. The police will investigate burglaries. Oh, that's right, they don't bother. They just arrest grannies for speech and people for refusing, experimental medical procedures, that sort of stuff. Make no mistake, whenever anyone says digital ID, call it Dina Papieri. Call it Dina Papieri. That's what it is. That's always what it is. They are absolutely evil. Fuck the lot of them.
I'm not tall enough for this one. I just quickly want to say I've got leaflets about the children's well-being in schools bill, because digital ID is still in that. I've got thousands of them, so just take as many as you want, distribute it today when you get home, but I'll just leave this at the front. Also, we've got, before you head to the pub, because we can talk about cash, but we've got to put our money where our mouth is. So, with the people that's left here today, we had a bit more at the start, but whoever's left, you can have a £20 note each, or a few, because I've got a giant pile.
Aye, I'll take a whole lot, mate. Cheers, thank you. I'll take a whole lot, there we go.
So you might annoy somebody passing by when they pick up a £20 note, but it might make them think because it's got the message on the back. So please take as many as you want. It was donated by Shona. She started the whole Smudge the Cash Cow. There's the latest Smudge, the latest incarnation. A big thanks obviously to Fiona for travelling that. That's a big distance to travel. Please grab some of these and just splash them about Glasgow. Thanks guys.
People are minted now.
Quick question, you let me wear this, so does this suit me?
It's a bit like Doctor Who, it's like the new incarnation.
I do get questions for being a bit of a Rasta, being a white guy that's Scottish, so I'm happy enough to have Viking now. Valhalla can welcome me.
I think you're rocking it, if you ask me.
Been fooled, people. I've been fooled. It's not real.
My phone just cut out there. I was filming and just cut out.
I'll just leave them on the table.
Okay, I'll put some tunes on, and everybody make sure you all keep committed, stay consistent, fight for the cause.
It's just as well as the end of all the speeches, but it was really weird. I always did. I'm sure the fucking right, man. I'm definitely sure the fucking.
Let's get another one.
Was it? Aye. Are you going for a beer, gang?
Where is it?
£20 notes. That guy gone.
Are you going for a beer? Oh, I've got to get
Let's see if I can get this song right again.
The missus away this weekend with a pal.
I'm on a permanent holiday, going outside to pray. I ain't gonna stay away, not for no corporate Babylon. Never gonna be found in their manipulation game.
That's it. Wrapped up now in Glasgow, by looks of things.
My puppet is no
There's still people going about. See if we can find Billy Moore. Right, but people asking that was Billy Moore that was going about. Got a selfie of Billy Moore, so happy days. Gave him a business card, hopefully gives me a shout out. I'd be laughing if he did. Right, it's going to be dying down now. I'll be having to head off soon, I think.
Going outside to play, gonna sleep away. Not for no corporate Babylon. Never gonna be a part. Their manipulation games. 10,000 years of captivity. We must eventually open up our eyes and see their manipulation. We so much eternity, so many mysteries. Try our soul, you questioning the unnatural state of things and I'm there.
Definitely can I'll go and have a look at some of the signs, I guess. Signs up there.
Mr. Universe.
mind,
it was him, it wasn't,
and
but,
I
he was the
will
first guy to actually stand.
make self doggy. I change man words. I be I be my hand. See revelation be like celebration. I be change seeking man. That's will speak. I be prison. I make decision. I won't be manipulated. My controlling unintended. I will seek revelation. Make my life celebration. Gonna be the change I'm seeking. Not the best the world's speaking. I refuse to be in prison. I will make my own decision. I won't be manipulated. My controlling unintended. I will seek a revelation. Make my life celebration. Gonna be the change I'm seeking. Not the best the world's speaking. I refuse to be in prison. I will make my own decision. Permanent holiday. Going outside to play.
Are we going to the pub?
Say, not for no couple of Babylon. Never gonna be a
don't have time, I need to get the bus back.
Breaking the press, breaking the checks.
Been up every long day to edit the video, obviously. Drop us a follow, like, might be live again Wednesday. Possibly this Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be wrapping up now.